first time, welcome. Today, chat Q&A, and we don't what's your favorite movie, but we can do that. But we can also talk about what's your favorite Friday the 13th mask. Carl Rouse, howdy, Carl. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. We can talk about your favorite piece of Friday the 13th merchandise. This is a film cell. I have Friday the 13th, the final chapter. My favorite trilogy. Final chapter. Yeah, your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try to reconnect you. I thought that was going to happen. Kel Mills, hi man. Thank you for joining the chat. Yeah, we've had one disconnect already. Friday the 13th, the Blu-ray connection, Blu-ray collection, 1 to 8, the original Paramount series. What's your favorite? Do you have the Blu-ray collection? So yeah, there's quite a few things to mull over. Yeah, we've had one disconnect already. If that happens again, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. If it continues to happen, then yeah, the stream will be over, and I will take it down from my channel. Sadly enough. But yeah, so let's chat Friday. Let's chat Friday the 13th. Let's chat Jason. Let's chat Jason merchandise. Your favorite Friday movie. Your favorite Friday the 13th kill scene. Yeah. So yeah, it's open to you guys. It's open to you guys. If you want to ask me what my favorite Friday the 13th movie is, it's Friday the 13th Part 4. The final chapter. The final chapter. It still sounds like. Yeah. Yeah, I'll try moving it. Let's see what happens. Try sitting here. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. Kel Mills, I love Part 2, as you know. I've got to check. I've got to check things outside just to see if something is getting in the way of the router. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Right, that's the best I can do. Yeah, I love Part 2, Kel. You know, I love Part 2. The set mask in hockey, and the hockey mask is what we think about when we think about Jason, but some people don't. Some people think about the set mask with a one eye hole. And it is creepy. It is creepy. Yeah, do any of you own any cool Friday the 13th merchandise? Kyle Rouse? Uh, Cal Mills. Hey, Cal. I like how he is vulnerable in that film as well. Yeah, I do. I do. I mean, when that movie, obviously, when that movie came out, no one knew anything different. We didn't know. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, yeah, the guy was strong. It's only when it came to part 6 when he became superhuman. Yeah, I mean, he could survive a hell of a lot of shit in part 2 and 3, and especially part 3 and 4. But it was only when it got to part 6 that he became a zombie Jason. Kel, no merch for me, but I did make a Jason mask for Halloween last year. Yeah, I think I saw it. It was really cool. It was based, if I remember rightly, was it not based on the Jason Goes to Hell movie? If I remember rightly, the one that's like embedded into his skull, his face. I think I saw that. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I remember seeing that. It was cool. It was really cool. Cal Mills, yeah, because it was too small for me. It was a kid's mask. It was a kid's mask. All right. Yeah, yeah, I remember that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Jason 9 mask and the way it's embedded into his face. That's all New Line. That's all New Line cinema. But it's better than seeing Jason as other people. Like when the coroner at the beginning of that movie eats his heart, and then he becomes Jason, then someone else becomes Jason, someone else becomes Jason. But the mask, yeah. Okay, at the moment, YouTube is telling me there's no disconnect. Not again. I did move the router, but probably spoke too soon, and it will happen. If it happens again, end of the stream. Okay, yes, storyline in that one. Yeah, that's New Line. The original, yeah, I mean the original series for me, and I think for you, is this one, the Friday the 13th, the 8-movie collection, the Paramount collection, 1 through 8. Yeah. Cal, I'm liking the beer, by the way. How are this? Yeah, I can't be, I can't be bothered to shave it. It's not a fashion statement in any way, but thanks, I appreciate it. Cal Mills, the first 4 are the best for me. Yeah, I would say the first first 4. I would say I probably prefer part 5 to maybe I do love part 5, but I maybe prefer part 5 to part 3. And then we got Jason 6, you know, when he becomes full-on zombie. So yeah, I would have to replace for me personally. I would replace part 3 with part 5. But I love part 3. Don't get me wrong, I love part 3. You know that I love part 3. But most people would agree with you, Cal. Most people would agree with you. The first 4 are the best 4. And number 6. 6 gets a lot of love. The part 6 of Megan, the final gal that's never considered a final gal. Cal, can't be alive. Yep. That's at the end of part 3. Yeah. Is that just after Chris has put the axe through his head, or just after she's hung the motherfucker? Cal, I like the dark and creepy feel of the first 4. I do love 5 and 6 though. Yeah, I love 5. I know 5 gets a lot of hate. Because it's not Jason. I mean, who gives a fuck? 6, yeah, you know this, man. I mean, yeah, I can say this. No one else is watching. Who gives a fuck? Yeah. Yeah, part 6 of Megan, the final gal who's never really considered a final gal. The dark and creepy feel of the first 4. Yeah, definitely. I do agree with that. There was nothing dark and creepy about part 5, and there was nothing dark and creepy, pardon me, about part 6. So yeah, through 1 to 4, definitely were the darkest, you know. So yeah, I totally agree with that. Cal, I always forget, but I think the hanging can be alive. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, the axe to the head is after that. Yeah, you're right. Well, at the moment, YouTube is not telling me we've gone offline. I moved the router outside. I shouldn't be saying this, because as soon as I say this, we're gonna go offline. But at the moment, how's it for you? I mean, I see everybody else has left, but never mind. Cal Mills, very high kill count in part 5. Yeah, there was. And it wasn't Jason. Believe you know. No. Yep. Roy got himself a big score, didn't he? In part 5. I love part 5. I love the characters in part 5. I mean, part 5 probably. Okay, Cal, yeah, it's good now. Been good since you moved it. Well, that's good. Yeah, what was I gonna say? Yeah, part 5. Yeah, yeah. Roy certainly got himself a big kill count. I know some people say they think the special effects and the gore effects in part 5 are bad. I don't think so. I think they're okay. But the kill count in part 5 was, yeah, very high. So good old Roy did well for himself. And part 5 has some of the characters I feel the most sorry for, you know? Joey not being one of them. But yeah, Demon in part 5. I love Demon. Uh, there's very few characters in the Friday franchise that I really care about when they're killed, you know? But Demon, and I think there's Matt, the guy who runs the what's it called again? Is it the no? I was going to say Hillcrest, uh, Halloween H2O. Anyway, the guy who runs Youth Development Center, Matt. We don't. That's an off-screen kill, but when we see him dead, I'm like, oh shit, really? So part 5 has a lot of characters I care about, you know. Cal, yeah, Roy did well in a short space of time. Yeah, he did really well. Yeah, and some people, believe it or not, Cal, some people have compared him to Pamela Voorhees because, I mean, uh, you know, he went crazy after seeing his son was murdered. After Joey was murdered, he went nuts. Um, Pamela Voorhees did the same thing when Jason drowned. She did the same thing. So there are comparisons made quite often with Pamela and Roy. I think that's a pretty cool comparison as well. Cal never thought of that. Yeah, I mean it does come up. It does come up depending on what YouTube channels you watch. Camille's some same motive for both of them. Yeah, it does come up. It does come up. Hey, Peter Marlasans, welcome to the chat, Peter. Uh, at the moment, the stream is okay. The picture could be terrible, uh, but we're not going offline every 5 seconds like we were last night. That's why that video no longer belongs on my channel. Hey man, how long time no see? How's it going? How's it going, Peter? Uh, it's been better. It's been better, but swings and roundabouts, swings and roundabouts. Peter, if you can still hear me, if you can still see me, let me know. If you can still comment. Just say, oh yeah, yep, whatever. Yep. Because I see the viewership has gone down again. But I never trust the YouTube viewership anyway. So, Cal, here's a question for you. How many people? Oh, wait a minute, Peter Malasas. I can see you clear as day, my guy. My guy. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Peter. Cal Mills, here's a question for you. How many people killed somebody throughout the franchise, including Jason? Okay, well, let me have a look at that. Here's a question. How many people killed somebody throughout the franchise, including Jason? Oh, so we got Vic. Forget it, Vic. But I think you're really out of line. So we got Vic. We got Roy. Vic and Roy. There must be somebody else. Maybe Peter, maybe you know the answer to that one. I can think of Dick from part 5 and Roy from part 5. Pamela, including Jason. Including Jason. That's a tough one. That's a good question. That's tough though. Peter Marsals, man, it doesn't come to mind. No, I mean that's a great question, Kel. Somebody franchise including Jason. I think I'm reading it wrong. I'm reading it wrong, aren't I? I'm reading it wrong. I'm reading it wrong, Kel. How many people kill somebody throughout the franchise, including Jason? I'm not quite sure. Unless you mean somebody killed Jason as well, and not many people did. Okay, I was okay. I was on the right line. Cal, I got Jason, Pamela, Vic, Roy, Alice, Tommy, Alice. Wait. Let's deal with this Alice thing at first. Alice. Oh yeah, she killed Pamela. Yep. Alice killed Pamela. And Tommy killed Jason twice. Oh yeah, I suppose. Yeah. At the end of part 4, Tommy killed Jason with a machete, and the machete goes through the head, and yeah. So that one, and twice Tommy killed Jason twice. You must mean at the end of part 6, yeah, at the bottom of the lake. I would have to give Megan some credit for that. Peter Malasars, what's your favorite music genre? Mine's 90s grunge. Alice in Chains. Well, you know I like an Alice, but it's not Alice in Chains. Alice Cooper. My favorite music genre, I don't really have one. I love 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, and that's where it pretty much ended for me. If I had to pick, if you put me on the spot, I would probably have to say 80s rock. But I love 60s rock and roll. But if you put me on the spot, I would have to say 80s rock. Rouse, how's things, Richard? Yeah, well, they've been better. But they've been better for everybody. Cal Mills, and Tommy killed Roy, actually. He did. Of course he did. Of course he did. On the bed of spikes at the end of 5, yeah? Yeah, of course he did. Cal Mills, end of 6. No, end of 5, yeah? Tommy killed Roy, actually, at the end of 6. No, it's at the end of 5. Peter Monosars. Oh, the 50s, man, they're so damn good. Yeah, you got some great stuff from the 50s. Oh, so many talent began in the 50s, you know. Peter Monosars, 2010 music equals, is that a sad face and cry? Yeah. music for me ends on, yeah, the early 2000s. Unless it's a band I follow, like Bon Jovi, even though Bon Jovi's latest album, 2020, was an absolute pile of dog shit. Yeah, I follow Bon Jovi and Alice Cooper, but I don't have Alice's latest album yet. Detroit Stories. I don't own the album yet. Yeah, so guys, at the moment, since I moved the router, we haven't had a disconnect. As Cal pointed out earlier on, we haven't had a disconnect. Yeah, come. Peter Malazars, I dig the 2000s though. Linkin Park, Simple Plan. But man, the 2010s suck major dog shit. Yeah, I totally agree. Linkin Park, Simple Plan. Simple Plan, I would have to look back. But Linkin Park, did they do In the End? I think Linkin Park did In the End. Love that song. Cal Mills. Okay, Cal. I like Simple Plan. Good Charlotte, awesome as well. Good Charlotte. Yeah, okay, yeah. As always, I love it when you guys chat to one another. And I love it when I can keep the stream flowing so you guys can do that. Peter Martasars. Oh, yep. In the End, Numb, etc. Cal, massive GC fan for Peter. GC. I'm drawing a Cal. I'm so sorry, mate. Massive GC. Oh, that's for Peter. That's for no. That's cool. That's cool. It's funny. I don't want to touch anything. I don't want to move anything. I barely want to move myself because at the moment we have a stream. The video is probably pretty poor, but we're not cutting out every 5 minutes, and that's the most important thing. Last night was an absolute joke. Okay. Pinamala. One thing I love about Quentin Tarantino is that he writes to music. I did the same before knowing he did it. I relate a lot to Tarantino. Well, there are worse people to relate to. Quentin Tarantino, I mean, yeah, that he's a very he's a very choice taste. You know, he kind of. I'm not comparing Quentin to Rob Zombie, no, but you know what I mean. If you if if you like a Rob Zombie movie, and he hasn't made that many, and you like a Quentin Tarantino movie, you're probably gonna like the next Quentin Tarantino movie and the next Quentin Tarantino movie. Maybe. maybe, but that's not always the way with Rob Zombie. But I'm trying to put perspective on it. That the only way I know how, you know. Peter Marlasars, he's very artistic. Yeah, Quentin. Oh yeah, I'm not taking anything away from the guy. I would never do that. But he's selective taste, you know. That's that's what I get from his movies. I do want to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I still haven't seen it. It's about 3 hours long. That's probably what's stopping me from watching that movie. But yeah, it sounds funny. It's funny. I'm normally asking you guys at this point, hey, what's the video like? But as long as you can see me, as long as you can hear me, and we don't cut out, as long as we don't cut out again and again and again and again, like last night, then we're cool. Anyway, guys, remember, this is all Friday the 13th. So chat to one another. I encourage that. But all Friday the 13th chat. Peter Marlasars, man, have you seen the Snyder Cut? 4 hours. No, I had the opportunity to watch it very recently, and the first 5 minutes bored me, so I turned it off. Loved it though. 10 out of 10, fucking masterpiece. In my top comic book movies, along with The Crow. Along with The Crow. Wow. Now you're digging deep. Along with The Crow, you're digging deep. Joker, I haven't seen it yet. The Dark Knight and Spider-Man 2. Yeah, I know you're a big fan of Spider-Man 2. Peter Marlasars. Oh yes, Friday the 13th. Yeah, it's a Friday the 13th chat. But I appreciate all the comments. But yeah, this is yeah. Hopefully we can stick to Friday. Are you hyped for My Special Boy? Oh, for God's sake, what's that? That's got to be a fan movie, yeah. That's got to be a fan film. My Special Boy. I know the line. You know, we all know the line. Is that a fan film that's coming out? Is that another? Is that another Womp Stump production or something? So I can't say I'm hyped for it unless I know what it is. Uh, Cal Mills, Never Hike Alone was fantastic. Yeah, it was. I loved it. Never Hike in the Snow, in my humble opinion. I'm going to probably get some shit for this in the comment section. Hopefully not. But, well, who knows? Never Hike in the Snow, I thought was pretty dreadful. But Never Hike Alone was fantastic. Peter Marlasars, which do you like better and why? Never Hike Alone. I read the questions in the wrong order, I think. Never Hike Alone, Never Hike in the Snow, and My Special Boy is a fan film by James Grimm. Oh, James Grimm is a top guy. Oh, James Grimm, top YouTuber, top human being. And he did My Special Boy. I haven't even seen it. I haven't seen it. But James Grimm is, He is a top dude. If you haven't checked out James Grimm's channel, please do. He does some fantastic videos. His quality is out of this world. But out of, yeah, Peter, Never Hike Alone, Never Hike in the Snow, My Special Boy, Never Seen It. Never Hike Alone. Easy. The Trader. Peter Malazar, The Trader is out for My Special Boy. It'd be great to see a reaction. I can't do that kind of thing here. I mean, I could watch the reaction on this TV and watch it and go back and forth, yeah, I could do that. But yeah, I think I've seen the trailer. I can't remember it. I can't remember the trailer. I could do it that way. I can't put the trailer down here and you can see me. What I don't have the software to do that. Okay, I just added My Special Boy trailer to my watch later list. Yeah, I think I've seen the trailer. Now I'm feeling bad for James. You know, James Grimm. I mean, the guy is so, you know, he's such an awesome dude. I've seen the trailer. I swear I've seen it. Probably. I'm so wrapped up at the moment, I must admit, in It's Me, Billy, that other fan films are being kind of pushed out of my consciousness, if that makes any sense. I'm so wrapped up in It's Me, Billy. I'm forgetting about that, you know. And the trailer for It's Me, Billy was pretty cool. Peter Malasans, would you want to see a sequel to the Friday the 13th reboot? No, not now. Not now. It's been too long. It's been way too long, and it would be a flop. I mean, me personally, yeah, I wouldn't mind it. But the thing is, I want to see the franchise, the Friday the 13th franchise, succeed. I want to see the franchise continue being successful. And if they did a sequel to the 2009 reboot, I don't think it will be successful at all. So for me personally, yeah, I wouldn't mind it. But as a thing, no, don't carry on from 2009. Start again. Start again. Make it dark, make it scary, make it creepy, but you do need this guy. It can't all be about Pamela Voorhees. If you want to do a Netflix series about Pamela Voorhees, that could be successful. But if it's going to go straight to if it's going to go straight to what we used to call the big screen, I mean, maybe maybe it will be a Netflix release, even if it's all about Jason, you know. Maybe there will be no more big screen releases anymore. But anyway, let's not go down that line. But yeah, I mean, personally, if it was just me and catered for me, I would like to see a sequel to the reboot. But I don't want them to do that. I think it would flop unless it's a Netflix series. Then it could work, especially well. I don't want to see a sequel to that movie on the big screen. If big screens still exist in the next 2 to 5 years, then no, I don't want to see that. Because I want the franchise to be successful. Pinamonazars. All right, man. Have to go back to my script. See you soon, my friend. Have a great stream. Take your time. I always say it, Peter. And it sounds repetitive, and you know what to do. Take your time. Don't rush it. And thank you so much for joining Movie Chat and More tonight. I really appreciate it. Take your time, Peter. Take your time. Hey, Cal. I would just carry on after Jason X, even though Jason X was a pile of shit. It was. And do Friday the 13th Part 11. As Jason is a zombie, he doesn't age. So no worries of him being too old. He died at 30. A continuation from Jason X, Jason 11. That could work. It's not what I would do. I mean, I would start again. The sad fact is, no matter what happens, it's going to be probably straight to streaming. It's going to be straight. That's why I was trying to explain the best way I could about the big screen not being here anymore, and how, you know, a sequel to 2009 Friday would be a Netflix series anyway, and how Netflix could benefit, and how Friday the 13th fans could benefit from a Pamela Voorhees story. When it's kind of like Cobra Kai. You know, we get to the end of 10 episodes, and at the end of the last episode of, let's say it's called Camp Crystal Lake. Camp Crystal Lake. And right at the end of episode 10 of series 1 of Camp Crystal Lake, we know Jason is coming back in season 2. But when it comes to part 11, no, I wouldn't carry on from that. I wouldn't carry on. Yeah, no worries of him being too old. But yeah, I wouldn't carry on with Jason X. So I would, if we're talking big screen, if we're talking fat Netflix, and we're talking the big screen, they need to start again, but they have to do it cleverly. They have to do it so it scares us. They have to do it so it's creepy. I mean, Cal, your favorite is part 2, yeah? Look at the darkness of that movie. Look how creepy that movie really is. There are some moments in that movie you've told me about that I still don't notice. I rewind the DVD or the Blu-ray or whatever, and I still don't notice little creepy moments. Of course, I notice quite a few, but there are some moments, Cal, that you mentioned from part 2 that are so dark, so creepy, and that's what they need to go back to. A continuation from Jason 10 would not do the trick. David May, hi from Montreal. Hey, David, Montreal. Did you check out April Wine yet? No, I still haven't. Sorry, I still haven't. Maybe it's a band. It's a band. Yeah, maybe I've heard of April Wine. Cal, have you ever heard of April Wine? Cal says, so we'll always be 30 years old. What timeline? What timeline, Cal? I saw that. 30 years old. Are you talking about the original Jason or the Jason from the 2009 reboot? David May, have you seen the music movie The Last Waltz? It's about the band. No, I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen that one. Kel Mills, the original. Also, Jason is 30. So in Friday the 13th Part 2, Jason is 30? Or do you mean when he became full-on zombie from Part 6? I think you mean Part 2. I mean, that's impressive, man. David May, is that your Alice Cooper cap? Yeah, it is. It is indeed. It's the only cap. No, I do own. I do own one other cap. I don't wear it much anymore. Cal, yeah, drowned at 6 years old, then came back 27 years later in Part 2. Part 3 and 4 were the same weekend. Yes, they were. Try telling some YouTubers that, they just won't have it. But you're right. As Part 2, so same age. So he drowned at 6, came back 27 years later. 27 years later, so he's 6. Jason drowned in 1957. So 1957, 67, 77. So he was 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Oh, yeah. Cal Mills, no, 24 years later. Yeah, I mean, this is when, I mean, so many people, so many YouTubers will, as you know, get into uh, this Friday the 13th timeline, and they will be adamant, and they will tell you how perfect the timeline is with the Friday franchise. I mean, they will slag off the Halloween franchise because of the timeline, but and how many times they started and stopped and God knows what. But the thing is, they say the Friday the 13th timeline is perfect, and it's not. It's not perfect. But I trust you, Cal. 24 years later, so yeah, he's 24, so 1957, 57, 77, 78, 79, 80. Sure, it's not 23. Is it 23? I know Pamela Voorhees started killing in 1958, but he drowned a year before that in 1957. So it could be 23. So he could have been 29. He could have been 29, I think. Cal, there was the year between him drowning and Pam starting to kill. Yeah, definitely. That's what I was saying. Cal Mills, part 2 was 1980. Part 2 was 1980. Let me think. Part 2 was 1980. Part 2 was 1984. We're led to believe it's 1985, right up until they realized the mistake they made in part 4. So they had to retcon. I never wanted to say this, but I'm going to have to say it again. They had to retcon the Pamela Voorhees tombstone to 1979 to make it make sense. So yeah, part 2 is 1980. Yeah, I mean, Cal, yeah, you're right, 23. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot. I mean, it does take a lot. I'm not being big-headed about this at all. But when it comes to the Friday timeline and how some YouTubers, Cal, you may have come across it yourself, and how they say the timeline is perfect. I would be like, okay. If you think the timeline is perfect, then match Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, up with Friday the 13th Part 2 or 3. If these YouTubers out there think the timeline is so perfect, even in like the original Paramount series from all the way to Jason Takes Manhattan, no, it's not. It's not perfect at all. Cal, 1950, he drowned. 23 years later in 1980, which it was, that would make him 29. See, where's my round of a fucking applause? But I see how you made them. It's a common mistake. It's a common mistake. Thank you, Cal. All right, we've been going for 54 minutes, nearly 55 minutes. We're keeping going. Keep going for at least, I don't know, maybe another half hour, if that's okay with everybody. Is that all right with you, Cal? You never know. We might get some more people join the chat. Is David Mayer, you still watching? And yes, David, this is, like I said, like I showed you, my Alice Cooper cap. Cal, yeah, good here. Cheers, mate. Yeah, we keep going for about another half hour. And then I might watch some old school, maybe some old school wrestling on YouTube or on DVD. But talking about Friday the 13th like this, it really puts you in the mood for a Friday the 13th movie, you know? Yeah. See, now YouTube is telling me we have 4 people watching. And if you guys are watching and you don't want to join the chat, that's fine. But it would be nice if you did. Cal, I could easily go through them again, maybe part 2 or 3. Oh, what do you mean, like not part 1? And start with 2 or 3 and then all the way through. Yeah, that's the, among other things, that's a great thing about the Friday franchise is, I mean, yes, with Halloween, you could, if you know the timeline, you know your stuff, and you've seen the movies 100 times, you can watch any Halloween movie on any given day. When it comes to the Friday the franchise, when it comes to the Friday the 13th franchise, it's even easier because let's face it, there's no plot. I mean, the closest the original franchise came to a plot was 4, 5, and 6, which is generally referred to as the Jarvis trilogy. But even those movies you can watch, you can watch part 6 and then you could go back to part 2. That's what's great about the Friday franchise. Cal, I've seen that movie 100 goddamn times. I've seen that movie 100 goddamn times. Then you should know, Mrs. Scream, yeah? That's a good idea. That's a good idea, Cal. Maybe we should do a Scream. A Scream stream. Even sounds good. A Scream stream. Maybe next weekend. It's a Scream, baby. Cal Mills. It's a Scream, baby. I'll be right back. It's funny. I was thinking of the scene today with Randy in part 3, where they're watching the video, and he's like, I think I've done this in one of my videos, maybe several. Told you I'd make a movie one day. I think I've done that. Well, I just did it again. Cal, Scream stream. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I could. Yeah, it does. Maybe for next weekend. If people start talking about Scream 4, then I'm not going to have a fucking clue what to say. I mean, I know more. Believe it or not, I know more about Scream 5, I think, than I do about Scream 4. And Scream 5 hasn't even been made yet. But Scream 4 was, I think you agree, Cal, on this one. I think Scream 4 was an absolute total fucking disaster. I mean, I do own Scream 4 on DVD, but when I bought the Blu-ray trilogy, I couldn't care less whether Scream 4 was part of it or not. That's the trilogy. Cal, Scream 4 was too violent. That's never been my problem with it. I know what you mean, though, but it's never been my problem. It just makes no fucking sense. With the what is it? The niece the niece. I mean, we talk about timelines. We talk about timelines, and the niece is jealous of Sydney. How old would that niece have been? 4 years old when all that shit was going on from the original movies? Nah, yeah, it's crap. Carmel, Scream 4, too violent, too techno, too crap. I like that. Yeah, the good thing about it though, with the technology they used in Scream 4 to make us all look like assholes, the good thing about it is when you watch Scream 4 now, that technology is kind of outdated. It's the same mistake they made in Halloween Resurrection. It's the same fucking mistake. Halloween Resurrection was all based on trends. It was all based on the trends that were popular at the time. You know, like webcams and you're about this close from getting booted off the island. I mean, you're about this close from getting booted off the island. We know what that means. Imagine someone who's like 14, 15 years old watching Resurrection today. You're about this close from getting booted off the island. They would be like, what the fuck does that mean? And all the old-fashioned computers, I mean, yeah, we saw them, we know what they look like, but a 15-year-old, a 16-year-old would look at that computer and they would be like, what? Same mistake. And you're right. With Scream 4 to techno, the violence never really bothered me. But the technology they used in Scream 4, when you go back and watch that movie, it's outdated, which I find really funny. I find it hilarious. They rely too much on the technology available to make us look like idiots. Why Wes Craven made that choice, I would never know. If it wasn't for the generation, a certain generation and a generation and a half that made Scream the success that it was, why would he go out of his way to make that generation look like a bunch of old assholes in Scream 4? Never made sense to me. Never made sense to me. Yeah, for 1 hour and 4 minutes. And we only crapped out at the beginning of the stream. So yeah, I'm going to leave this one up on my channel. The picture quality could be bad. It probably is bad. But at least it's not unstable. At least it's still there. Cal, yeah, it's been good ever since. So that's good. Yeah, I mean, it's quite ironic because at the moment, the router is sitting, while it was outside on that church pew, I call it a bench. Well, but what I've done, I've taken it away, moved it closer, and on top of a pile of toilet rolls. There's some irony in there somewhere, but yeah, it's on top of a pile of toilet rolls that have not been used. But yeah, we're not breaking out. Cal, no, the picture is good. I can see that glorious beard, nice and clear. Yeah, I just can't be bothered to shave it, mate. I can't be bothered to, you know, it's every now and then it will itch. It does itch every now and then, but it's getting past that point. So what I'll probably do is shave along here and along here and just leave the rest. Unless I have, like a job interview or something. And then, of course, it all comes off. But yeah, I'll probably just get rid of that, get rid of this, and Cal, get some beard oil that'll stop the itching. Yeah, I remember you saying about that. But yeah, I mean, there are some people, believe it or not, there are some people that would kill. Well, nuance people, nuance, I don't mean literally kill, nuance is they would kill to grow a throat beard, which is what I have around here. It's I have a throat beard. I never wanted one, but I have one. Nuance people. I don't mean people would kill. It's a figure of speech. Kyle, do you think Halloween 18 is awful? No, I don't. I don't think it's awful. I think it could have been a lot better. I don't like the way One Night turned Laurie Strode into Sarah Connor. And 40 years later, I don't like that at all. If they had included the events of Halloween 2, then it would be an easier pill to swallow. But this was, as you know, a continuation from Halloween. Halloween 2 never happened. So why Laurie Strode would go that far, I don't know much about PTSD, but there's too much, way too much. There are moments in Halloween 2018 I love, and there are quite a few characters and quite a few characters that are nondescript, and quite a few scenes that are stupid, like Ray. Oh my God, Ray. But no, to answer your question, Kyle, I don't think Halloween 2018 is awful. I think it's pretty good, but it could have been better. It could have been a lot better. Kel Mills, yep, very popular these days. Kel Mills, I very much like Halloween 2, 1982. 82? Oh, Kyle Riles, I'm sorry. I mixed up. I saw the K, and I'm sorry, I mixed up the I mixed up Kel Mills with Kyle Riles. My apologies. Kyle Riles, I very much like Halloween 2, 1982. That's 81. But you're only 1 year out, Carl, so don't worry about it. I mixed up the names. I saw Kel Mills and Kyle Riles, and yeah, I'm a big fan of that movie. I prefer Halloween 4. I must admit. I prefer Halloween 4 from 1988. Cal Mills. I watched 81 the other night. Yep. Yep. It is a classic. I've just never seen, and I've been to quite a few hospitals in my lifetime. I've never seen a hospital with that, with there's hardly any patients, there's hardly any staff. Nitpicking. I know I'm nitpicking, but I do prefer Halloween 4. Carl says, yeah, Halloween 4 has the most Halloween vibe. It does. Halloween 4 has a better Halloween vibe than the 78 original. Halloween 4 has that autumn fall vibe down, even more so than the classic 78 Carpenter original. So yeah, I totally agree with that. Cal Mills, I like them all really. Not a bad Halloween film except 8. Except 8. 8, what's that? Resurrection. Yeah, Resurrection. Yeah, Resurrection. Not. It's a cool horror movie, Resurrection, but it's a terrible Halloween movie. Take Michael Myers out of that movie, and out of number 8. Yeah, I mean 7 was haste. Yeah, so yeah, take Michael Myers out of Resurrection and make it a brand new killer, and we got but we got a pretty good, not a brilliant, but a pretty good slasher movie on our hands, But because it's Michael Myers, we expect so much more. Well, at least I do, and you do, and Kara's. I think Halloween 4 is one of the few Halloween films to actually feature trick or treating. I may be wrong. There's more trick or treating in Halloween 4 than any other Halloween movie. Yes, we do in Halloween Resurrection. We see a couple of kids trick or treat, trick or treat. In Halloween 2018, we see the kids wearing the Halloween free, which is pretty cool. We in Halloween 2018, we see the kids wearing the Halloween free silver shamrock masks, and they're trick or treating. But you're right, I think in Halloween 4 we see more trick or treating than we do in any other Halloween movie. And it helps, yeah, it helps with that Halloween vibe. It really helps. Carl's, yep, I like that reference to Halloween 3 a lot. Yeah, the silver shamrock mask. What was it again? The skeleton, the witch, and the pumpkin. Yeah, yeah, that was cool. See, there is so much to like about Halloween 2018. There is so much to like about it, but there's a lot not to like about it. I mean, when you think about it, 2018. I mean, this is supposed to be a Friday the 13th chat, but we've gone off on a tangent, and that's fair enough for now. The stream has only got maybe 14 minutes left. Yeah, I mean, one of the best pieces of music ever in a Halloween movie was The Shape. The Shape hunts Allison, or The Shape, yeah. And we hear it for all of like 25, 30 seconds. 25, 30 seconds. What were they thinking of? What the fuck? I mean, can you imagine? Imagine that theme, The Shape hunts or stalks Allison. I always forget. Imagine that piece of music at the beginning of Halloween 6, where Jamie Lloyd is driving down the road and Michael Myers is following in hot pursuit. Yeah, imagine that piece of music to that scene. Now, I'm not saying the music we hear while that happens at the beginning of Halloween 6 is bad, because it's not. I like it. But imagine that piece of music, The Shape hunts Allison. Put that piece of music extended to the beginning of Halloween 6. Imagine it. Rouse. Richard picture this. Halloween film set in Tokyo. Michael was supposed to be transported to a secure facility, but breaks out the airplane and lands in Japan. Well, he's wearing a mask, so he's wearing a mask, so you won't get COVID. As if, but nope. Secure facility breaks out the airplane and lands in Japan. Picture this. I am picturing it. Why do I keep on thinking of a scene from Commando with Arnie? Rouse. They can set it up to be Michael has been DB Cooper this whole time. Mind blown. DB Cooper. You talking about without paddle? Yeah. They can set it up to be Michael has been DB Cooper without a paddle. Yeah, they. Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, why not? Let them do it. Let them do it. You know. All right, guys. We got 10 minutes left, roughly 10 minutes left in the stream, and we haven't lost connection for quite a while. So, where I've planted my router out there, I'm going to keep it out there. Because when this stream began, it was a fucking nightmare. Like last night was so bad, I've actually deleted it. Cal Mills, favorite Kill on a Friday film. See, we're back to Friday. Thanks, Cal. We're back to Friday. Favorite Kill on a Friday film. It's got to be a sleeping bag. It's got to be the sleeping bag in part 7. When he grabs hold of the girl, she's still inside the sleeping bag, and Jason's the sleeping bag against a tree. I mean, originally, that scene, believe it or not, he was supposed to smash that sleeping bag against a tree, I think 3 times. Then, boom, boom, drops it and then kicks it. Because that's what Kane Hodder did. He had trouble. He's a big, strong guy, Kane Hodder, yeah? But he had trouble lifting up that sleeping bag and smashing it against a tree. So when he finally managed to do it, dropped it, he kicked it. He actually kicked it. I'm glad they cut that because that's not Jason. That's more 2009 Jason to do something like that. And the fact he smashes a sleeping bag against a tree 3 times is unnecessary. The one bomb, one and done, one and done. That's my favorite kill scene from the entire franchise. There are others, but the first one that comes to mind is that one. And of course, we have the frozen head in Jason 10, or Jason 10, Jason X unit. The frozen head. That's pretty cool. It's a shit film, but it's a cool kill scene. Great choices. So many to pick from. Yeah, there are. I mean, when you think of Friday 6, I mean, that's got some pretty cool ones as well. Friday 6 has got the head twist of the lady, the camp counselor outside, like, twisting her head completely off her shoulders. Part 4 had poor Jimmy with the machete through the head. He gets the corkscrew through the hand and the machete through the head. There is one that a lot of people talk about, which is the Kevin Bacon one, from obviously Friday 1, and I'm not overly keen on that. The kill scene itself is good, but I think the special effects are very dated. That's a word I don't like to use, dated. But if you look closely, well, you don't even have to look that closely, and you can see the head. Kevin Bacon's head is totally, the body is, and the throat is, it's not connected. It looks, to me, it looks like a bad magic act, but it's very much loved by a lot of Friday the 13th fans. Yeah, I would have to say my favorite is that one from part 7, the sleeping bag kill. And I'm glad the way it ended. I'm glad the way it was shot and the way they cut it and edited that scene. I wouldn't want to see Jason slam her against a tree 3 times and then kick the sleeping bag. It wouldn't make sense. That's just not Jason. Cal Mills, I've just realized part 1 was 1980. It was. Part 2 was 1981. So he would have been 30. Actually, no. I mean, part 2 was set. Part 2 was supposed to be 5 years later. So it's supposed to be 1985. But with what happened with part 4 and the Pamela Voorhees tombstone, 1979, part 2 was actually 1984. And there are people, as you know, Cal, there are people that will argue they will argue to the end of time about that. But yeah, 5 years later, from 1980, is 1985. But 1979 is when Pamela Voorhees died, and so yeah, 5 years later, what do we have? 5 years later, we have 1984. So in whatever how old Jason was in 1984 would be how old he is in 2, 3, and 4. Kel Mills, 5 years later. Why was Alice still taking time out? Yeah, that's good. That's a good question. She was on the phone to her mum saying she needed some time. I figured it was only a year after. It was made less, believe it or not. I think it was made a little bit less than a year after Friday 1, the movie itself. So yeah, it makes sense. I know what you mean, Cal. But it was supposed to be 5 years later. I think it's mentioned more than once in Friday 2. But I think if you go back to the campfire scene with Paul, Paul. God damn that Paul, him and his wilderness bullshit. 5 years ago, and then when they're at the bar 5 years ago, and there's several scenes in Friday the 13th Part 2 where they say 5 years ago. So when it came to the tombstone in number 4, Pamela Voorhees died 1979. They had to pretend it was 1984. 2, 3, and 4. They had to retcon that. Yeah, that one, Kel Mills. I don't want to scare anyone. Yeah, I think Paul says it. I'm gonna give it to you straight about Jason. Yeah, it's supposed to be 5 years. I think the sheriff may say it. It's said quite a few times in that movie. It's 5 years ago. The events that happened, and what you say, yeah, Alice on the phone to her mom makes no sense. Really? It's 5 years? Imagine if that was Laurie Strode. 5 years. She would still be on the phone to her mum 40 fucking years later. So let's consider ourselves lucky. Imagine if that was Laurie. 5 years. Alice did pretty well for 5 years. Laurie Strode for 40 fucking years. Kel Mills. I think I took the 5 years as being 5 years after the 2 counselors were killed at the beginning of the first film. Okay, to the events of the bulk of the film. No. I mean, I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, it could easily be misunderstood. But yeah, that's no. The events of Friday the 13th took place in 1980, and the events of Friday 2, 3, and 4 took place in 1984. 5 years, we're led to believe it's 1985, but nope, they retconned the tombstone, and we have 1984. So, yeah, the the events of Friday 1 took place in 1980. Pamela Voorhees died in 1980, but they retconned it. They retconned it because they said 5 years. If they had said 4 years, everything would have been fine. But they said 5 years. And when they said 5 years, they had to retcon the tombstone from Friday 4. Cal Mills, classic horror movie mistakes. Yeah, that's what makes it even funnier. That's what makes it so funny when people say the Friday the 13th franchise, the timeline is perfect. You know, they rip the shit out of Halloween, but they say the timeline. I mean, when you think of the guy at the beginning of Friday, I mean, I'm going to end this stream in a moment, but when you think of the guy at the beginning of Friday the 13th Part 8, when he's telling his girlfriend on the boat, how many years ago this kid drowned? And he says, what is it? Yeah, okay. So he says about 30 years ago. So that's 1918. Jason Takes Manhattan, I think, was 1989. Jason drowned at 57. So 67, 77, 87. So yeah, that timeline works out pretty well. But when you consider the timeline after number 4, and before that, forget it. But when you consider Tommy Jarvis and how he ages in between 4, 5, and 6, it kind of loses its way. And then in Part 7, it's like in Part 7. Remember, Cal? Do you remember the beginning of Part 7? Do you remember the little kid, the one with the telekinesis and all that shit, when she basically kills her dad, and she's just a little gal, yeah? And then we fast forward, and it becomes this teenage gal who's like, I don't know, 17, 18 years old. So what? And Jason is at the bottom of the lake. He was at the bottom of the lake when she was a little gal. He was still at the bottom of the lake when she was a teenager. You see where I'm coming from? You see why the timeline does not make sense? And why I get pretty annoyed sometimes when people say, oh, the timeline in Friday the 13th is perfect compared to Halloween. It's not. Think of that. Think of Friday 7. Think of Friday 7 and how that little gal accidentally kills her dad at the beginning of the movie. And then how when we see her as a teenager, Jason is at the bottom of the lake. It doesn't make sense. Stephen Law, good morning. Good morning, Stephen. This stream is about to end, my friend. I really appreciate you being here, but this stream is about to go offline. Cal Mills, yeah, I'm with you all the way. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. You're right. Yeah. When it comes to the Halloween timeline, I know we know, don't we? Yeah, we know where people are coming from. I mean, there are 3 movies out there just called Halloween. That's enough to confuse anybody who's not a Halloween fanatic, you know? But the Friday the 13th timeline is not perfect. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for the comments, the questions, the queries. Luckily enough, we stayed online. Bit of a touchy start. I'm not saying that won't happen again. It could. But this one was very, very, very cool. We've stayed online. Thanks again for joining Movie Chat More. My name is Richard, and I'll see you all again soon, hopefully. Maybe, I'm not sure. I'm not going to say a day. Yeah, I'm not going to commit myself to a day yet. Cal Mills, been a good one as usual. Thank you, Cal. See you again soon. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, thank you to everybody. Thanks, Cal. See you all again soon. Hope you enjoyed the stream, everybody. And yeah, cheers.